Hi, this is Bob from Hobby Concepts, and today this is just a short video on this grand hauler that you've probably been seeing in a bunch of my recent videos, the HC Shorts videos, the Hobby Concept Shorts. And I've been doing videos on how to do particular things like the coupler, or the rear lights, or the headache rack, or the light bar. And today I'm going to show the finished truck and kind of go through each of these hop-ups. I'll put links in the description to the hop-ups, but this will give you an idea of what you can do with your grand hauler once you get it done and go, ooh, now I want to do something else. Everything on here is servo operated. This truck is beautiful. It looks fantastic. It's got a lot of lights on it. You know, this is just a little quickie video to show how everything fits together. Let's get started. So what I'd like to do in this video is go through all the options on this truck, and it's kind of a final video in a series I've been doing on some little hop-ups for the Grand Hauler, King Hauler, Globeliner, actually any of the Tamiya semi-trucks. So I'm going to go through these one by one, explain them, and then there'll be a link to each video in the description. So let's start at the back end and go forward. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about, this truck has a Bayer MSM system, and I'll talk about that later. The first hop-up that I want to talk about, or option, are the tail lights. Now you can see in this truck that all the light lenses are clear, and what I have done is I have colored lights in the positions with clear lenses, and I've filled every single hole. Now this option works with Tamiya MFCs, Bayer systems, or anything else, but basically what I've got are two amber lenses for the turn signals or hazard lights, and then, now the engine sounds are going to start when I do this, but two reds for the tail lights, and then three whites for the backup lights. So that's let this shut off. So that's an option I do now with every grand hauler that I build, is fill up all the holes, use clear lenses. The kit comes with the clear lenses, and you could use red lenses too, it doesn't matter, but I like to fill up every hole. There's a little kit called a tail light modification kit, works with MFCs. Like I said, you can, with Bayer stuff, you can do whatever you want, but filling up all those holes is a great thing. So that's going to be a link down in the video to that little setup to do that. Okay, the second thing is the marker lights. Now, I've got a video on that, and we'll turn these on, and you can see that I've got 4 amber marker lights in the back bumper. Now, those marker lights, the bumper, this is the stock bumper, it comes pre-marked on the back, and you just drill through and put the lights in. I've got a whole separate video on how to do that, and along with that are the marker lights in the front bumper. Same thing, there's pre-marked holes. I've got a kit that fills those all in, and you can have additional marker lights, which really kind of class up the truck. You know, a lot of lights to me just makes the truck pop, and so that's the second hop-up, are the marker lights. Okay, turn those back off here. Alright, the third one I want to talk about, and this one I'm now doing literally in every truck, is the remote coupler. Now you can see that I've got a little arm right here, and it operates the coupler. You can see the coupler right there, move in and out. And this is different than the Tamiya coupler hop up, because they make a separate bracket and mounts underneath here, and the bracket shows, and the linkage goes all through here, and it just is kind of a mess. So what I do is attach the servo, a small servo, directly to the bottom of this plate, and then use the ball links with a cut-off screw to make a short little arm. All you need is the servo. It works on any truck. I've done it on Euro trucks and everything else. I've got a video on how to do it, and it leaves the rest of the area available. Since there's no linkages and big servo things, you can put diamond plate on it or do other stuff, steps, whatever you think is appropriate. But that servo operated coupler, again, that's something I do now on every single truck I build. It's easy, it's cheap, and it's kind of fun to be able to work the servo from the radio. So that's the next option. Okay, next option is this beautiful polished headache rack. And this headache rack also has lights in it. Now this particular one has got a window. It comes both ways. But, oh, Winston, what was that? The headache rack bothering you? Okay. Winston's on a tear here. I don't know what he's up to. Maybe he saw a mouse. The headache rack comes on and off with a couple of thumb screws, so you still have access to your battery. Looks really nice. And again, it's something that's very easy to do. On this particular truck, you just require drilling 2 holes. On some of the trucks, like the King Hauler and the Globeliner, you don't even have to drill holes. The frame's already got them in there. So that's the next option that I wanted to talk about. Okay, next thing on this particular truck is this light bar. Now, this is a low profile light bar. It's flat on the top. I've painted some pieces on this. Again, there's a video on this. I'll put links in the description. And it operates from the radio and has all kinds of different functions. So every time you flip the switch, you get a different light effect. A couple things I like about this. First off, I like the light bar. I think it looks cool. But the second thing is it covers up that hole that's in the top of the sleeper that was originally designed to have an antenna mount in, which we don't use anymore with these modern radios. So the light bar is just a cool add-on that I think looks really good. Okay, one other thing on this truck of note is the screws mounting the visor. The Tamiya suggests that you glue it on, but I always just drill a little hole and use a couple of self-tapping screws. There's plenty of extras in the kit, and mount the visor on permanently. Okay, this truck also has an aluminum grille, which just kind of adds to the look. Now, the next option that I want to talk about are the dual headlights. Now, the Grand Hauler actually has a bezel that has 2 lights, but one of them is filled in solid, and it doesn't have a light in it. So I have a video on how to make that into dual headlights. So I call that, headlights and high beams on everything I do on my trucks. But that just gives you the dual headlights. Again, it's super easy to do. If you have a Tamiya MFC, it already comes with the bulbs. I mean, it's literally just drill a few things and you've got dual headlights. Okay, so that is the next option that I really like to do, or the dual headlights. And again, I now do that on every Grand Hauler because it's easy and it's basically free. Okay, finally, on this truck, of course, are light and sound systems. Now, the Tamiya MFC 01 is great in this truck. You can do the tail light mod, you can do the dual headlight mod, and it works fine. This particular truck has the Bayer MSM, which I think is a little superior because it's got a nicer sound. It has 3 different engine sounds available, and it has extra light functions. Plus, it'll handle a whole bunch more LEDs. If you wanted to put, a 50 marker light LEDs on a truck, an MFC won't handle it, but Bayer MSM will. So the Bayer MSM has, of course, we saw the headlights. We have headlights here up 1 second and the high beams up 3 seconds. And then if I go down 1 second, I get my marker lights here on the top, and down 3 seconds, I get my marker lights in the bumpers. So basically all 4 lighting functions are available through the MSM. If I touch the throttle, I get engine sound, and the engine sound will stay on for 30 seconds, and then when you don't touch anything for 30 seconds, it'll shut off. So we'll let that operate here. Okay, so touch the throttle, the engine sound goes on. It has a backing beeper, and of course the sound varies with the throttle. But there's also a lot of built-in functions that are automatic. One of them, of course, is turn signals. When you turn the steering, the turn signals operate. Now you have a hazard light function. Let's see. That's not the hazard lights. The hazard lights are up for 3 seconds on this knob, and that turns on hazard lights, which turns on the front and the rear hazard lights, or we can turn them off. Okay, so we've got turn signals, hazard lights. We have horns. 2 built-in standard horns, and then 3 built-in optional horns. So you've got all kinds of cool horn sounds. And then you've got, and we heard this, Turk's whistle. All these are operated from the radio. Compressed air sound that basically you can turn on whenever you want. And then, of course, as I showed earlier, the hazard lights. So with all these lighting functions, I mean, with the light bar and the marker lights and the headlights and the rear marker lights, the lights in the headache rack, I'll tell you what, this truck is beautiful when it's running with all these lights on it. So those are just some of the popular options that I've got videos for. And I just wanted to show this truck to show them all in one place. So if you want to find these videos, you can search by HC Shorts. That's the letter H, the letter C, and then a space and the word Shorts. And that stands for Hobby Concept Shorts. And I have short videos on how to do certain things. So you'll find the video on the coupler, the tail light mod, the headlight mod, the headache rack, the light bar, and some other short videos that I have. But that's the easy way to find it. I'll put links in the description, but you can just search by HC Shorts on YouTube and find these. And that will show you some of these different options. So if you say, oh, you know, I want to add a light bar, well, you don't have to search through a whole bunch of my videos. You can just find one video on the light bar. And that makes it, I think, a little bit easier. So there you go. That's just kind of a quick overview of a grand hauler with a lot of the popular options that I do, and an explanation of them, and then where to find the videos of them. This particular truck is a stock grand hauler that's painted in metallic TS92 metallic orange, which I love this color. It paints beautifully. I painted over silver. It just comes out really nice. It's pretty much a stock grand hauler, except for it has King Hauler exhaust stacks on it and an aluminum grill and some diamond plate in the back here. But other than that, and then of course all those options we just talked about, other than that, it's pretty much a stock grand hauler. But I tell you what, this truck is beautiful. It looks fantastic in the evening with the lights on, and it runs really well. I love this truck. So there you go. Explanation of these hop-ups. Give this video a thumbs up. It helps with the YouTube rankings. And I appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate all my viewers. I love doing these Tamiya trucks, and we'll keep doing it. So there you go. I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.